Today, we're delighted to have a special guest with us, Flavio Refrigeri, the owner of Fiori Aesthetics, an award winning aesthetic clinic in central London. Flavio is here to tell us about his aesthetic practice and what makes it so successful. Flavio, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. Absolutely, thank you.
So, every story has a beginning. Flavio, can you please walk us through your professional journey and what led you to the field of aesthetic medicine?
Yeah, absolutely. So I come from a family background all within the medical field. So dentist and pharmacist, and my dad is a professor doctor. So that was kind of like my future was already designed for me as a kid. My dad' dream was for me to become a pharmacist, right? So that was something that it was ingrained within my future. But the truth is that at the age I trained, when I was back in Italy, I'm 46 now, so quite a long time ago, I started my career training as a paramedic, and that was just not my passion. It just didn't feel right, and it wasn't what I wanted to really do. Then I moved to England, and when I was in England, I kind of started to be introduced to the medical field within the aesthetic industry, the cosmetic industry, and that's when my real passion started. When I actually moved here in England, I had a very good friend of mine, Dr. Rob Shan, that introduced me to everything that is the aesthetic cosmetical, and that's when I started retraining completely from scratch to all my basically level on aesthetics. I did a master's degree in the aesthetic, basically aesthetic practice. So that's why I was reintroduced to it. So my love for aesthetic has always been with me, but the actual love, the real passion and love, came when I moved to London. So yeah, that's my beginning. That's the beginning of it.
Wow, that's incredible. I mean, becoming a paramedic and then moving into the aesthetics industry. I mean, that's quite the change, and
Yeah,
going from health to beauty, and that's really what we like to talk about here on the Aesthetics Today podcast.
absolutely.
And we we know that Fiore Aesthetics has been around for a while, and in order for an aesthetics clinic or any beauty business or business in general to be competitive, it has to be unique. So, what
Mhm.
unique attributes do you feel that Fiore Aesthetics brings to the aesthetic clinic landscape of
Uh,
London?
Definitely, you nailed it there. There's a lot of businesses like in London, central London, I guess, all around the world. The aesthetic industry is booming, so there's a lot of places opening all the time. But what makes someone different is what is the key. When I, and this has always been my motto, when I opened this business literally 14 years ago, we were born. My thing was to bring the best of the treatments with the best customer service at more of I'm going to use the word affordable, but not to cheapen the treatment, but to trying to make this accessible to more people. When we opened 14 years ago, especially in England, this was a little bit more hidden, and it was a little bit more for I'm going to use the word for the rich and famous kind of thing. But the truth is that my motto, my goal was to trying to create a beautiful clinic where the customer service was absolutely superb, but that things were a little bit more slightly more competitive, so everybody was able to actually experience these treatments. And that's why I came up with a beauty for everyone. That was the initial motto of Fiore Aesthetics, beauty for everyone, because I really wanted to try to introduce some of the treatment for everyone to experience really. So that was my initial motto. So the difference, I guess, with us in other clinics is that we approach this in a more of a familiar way. We got customer, a patient that been with us since the opening. So we are a smaller boutique clinic. So connection, emotional connection with our patients is key. So we don't treat patients as numbers, but we really treat them as, I'm going to use family, but not as close as that, but quite close to that. So we know the names, surnames, and family members, and cats and dogs. So we have a real good connection with our patients. That's what I think we survived, and we've been so successful for all these years.
Yeah, I believe that, beauty comes in all shapes, sizes, textures, tones and age ranges. So how does Fiore Aesthetics tailor its services to cater to individual skincare needs and aesthetic desires?
I'm a great believer. Hopefully, this is the answer. I'm a great believer in a first consultation. So to me, when I meet my patients or my team, when we meet our patients, we are the practitioners. So I like to meet people myself. So we don't have any, pre, I call it coordinators or people they interview a patient. So I believe they interview the first connection, the first, it's the most critical part of someone's journey, because that's where you understand the needs of that person. You understand what they want, what they need, what they want to achieve, where they want to go with their aesthetic journey. So I think that we tailor treatments to clients, specific clients' needs from the moment we meet them. Is that to get to know that person and to get to know what journey they want to go on, and then you're trying to tailor that journey with them. It's a process. It's a process. It doesn't happen in the first session. Sometimes the relationship takes a little while before we get to the point that the client wants to be.
I suppose that, being able to tailor to so many different types of client needs, you offer so many different
Right.
services and treatments. Can you pinpoint a few that are especially sought after by your clients currently?
Yeah, definitely. I think I think all up, especially in England. I don't know in America, but we are all moving towards more of having a beautiful, healthy looking skin instead of feeling skin with fillers as much. So I think at the moment, treatments that we perform the most or clients want the most is more on the skin tightening, skin rejuvenation, skin boosting treatments. So I would probably say the treatment that we perform the most at the moment probably be all the skin rejuvenation side of it, of the business. That's what at the moment here in England seems to be the things to do, really.
I'm glad that you brought that up because we're always really interested in aesthetic trends, especially since they're constantly evolving and new trends are emerging. So in your opinion, what current trends are shaping the aesthetic medicine industry?
Absolutely, very good question. Like you nailed it there, because there's always a new trend coming in, and we see them all the time. But I feel that what I'm most happy about what is happening at the moment within the aesthetic medical industry is that we are moving away from a very artificial look, and we're moving towards more of a natural approach. When I say that is that up to a few years ago, it was all about creating volume, 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 volume. So some patients and people in general were starting to look extremely artificial, when now the new trend, or where the industry is moving towards, it's very much about a more of a natural approach. So skin boosters, mesotherapy and hyaluronic acid based boosters seem to be the trend at the moment. So people are more keen to, patients are more keen to have a good looking skin instead of having extremely enlarged lips or cheeks or features in general. So new trend would be skin boosters.
Yeah, I see that a lot of people are definitely going for a more natural look. And how do you think that societal perceptions of beauty are changing? Do you feel that that in general people are trying to move away from, overfilling or
Yeah.
like
Absolutely, absolutely. We have, I don't know, in the States, if you have this trend going on, but here in the UK, we seems to have a lot of patients that are keen to dissolve a lot of their fillers or to go back into more of a natural looking lip. So we definitely moving towards the natural, and I think it's a trend that is very appealing to me because my ideal of aesthetic and my ideal of performing aesthetic treatments is more to enhance or just to maintain what someone has instead of changing the appearance completely. And I'm not judging, by the way. Everybody, everybody can do what they please, but I feel that the trend is moving towards more of a naturalistic approach.
Yeah, I enjoy that. People are starting to love themselves for how they look and just how to sort of naturally enhance that. But um I know that we're talking about natural beauty, but we also like to talk about technology and
Yes,
innovation here because
yes,
we like to nerd out a little bit about
yes,
technology. So
absolutely,
like
absolutely.
the role of technology in aesthetics treatment, I mean, it's always changing. How crucial is advanced technology in the services Fiori Aesthetics provides?
Well, technology. I mean, it's important and it's essential that we move forward. I guess with new treatments and new technologies, and sometimes sometimes the technology they might be the same, and sometimes they just kind of like redeveloped. They just put a little spin to change the technology, but sometimes actually they really are essential just for client safety, for results. So I think it's essential. Here at Fiore Aesthetics, we try to keep with the trends. We're trying to introduce new technology if I feel that is something that it's appropriate for us as a clinic. Something that we're doing at the moment is something called IPRF, which is a pretty much a new technology of platelets, using platelets for rejuvenation. So we used to have something called PRP, and now we use something called IPRF. That's something that in England the only just arrived probably about a year and a half ago. And so that's something that I brought into the clinic and we do often. So I try to stay on trend as much as I can, and obviously, keep ourselves updated as possible through training and constant studying and constant updates, really.
Yeah, are there any new innovative treatments that you are going to be introducing into your clinic?
Ah, um, well, there is one actually that I was talking about a few days ago. In England, something that is pretty new but is growing quite fast is intimate area rejuvenation. That four is something that I'm very keen to introduce. There's a couple of new technologies for, I don't know if I can say this online or not, but for vaginal rejuvenation, for example. And it's something that we don't do, is quite new in the UK. So that's something that I'm quite keen to bring into the clinic. Skin booster for private areas and vaginal areas. So that is a quite of a new technology that I'm keen to bring into the clinic quite soon.
I think that's great. I think it's important for people to feel beautiful everywhere. I mean, it's
Absolutely,
part of
absolutely.
self-love and self-care and self-worth. But I know that you had mentioned safety and ethical considerations are, a huge concern for clients. And could you tell us about your ethical principles at Fiori Aesthetics?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I always say, a priority is always client safety. I mean, that's for us, when we train, that is what is ingrained with us. So safety, patient safety is number one. So here for aesthetics, for example, apart from all being absolutely super trained, super insured. But all my equipment, laser machines, we make sure that they're always updated. We make sure there's always service. We make sure that we follow health and safety policies to the T. So consent forms, medical histories. So we make sure that the patient safety is up here always. Because that it should be number one priority in beauty, in aesthetics, in cosmetics, always.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I mean, I think that safety and regulatory measures are probably a little difficult to navigate. I don't have an aesthetics clinic, but
Yeah,
how do you navigate all the regulatory landscape to ensure client well-being? I'm sure it's a bit complex.
I have to be honest. I'm lucky enough to have someone that helps me. I've got a basically team that helps me with that, making sure that all the policy. If there is any change of government policy or there's a new law coming in, we make sure that we always on point with that. When it comes to one thing that I think is very important as well, if you are a skin clinic or a clinic or a aesthetic clinic using machinery, so lasers or tightening machine, IFUs and macroneedlings and so on, those equipments, they need to be, clean, and they need to be insured, and they need to be basically serviced once a year from the manufacturer. So that's another way to keep clients safety as high as possible. If you got a laser machine, it's like owning a machine, like owning a car. You're gonna have to look after it, you have to clean the filters, you have to, and that can only be done if the machine is insured and if the machine is serviced by the actual manufacturer. And that is something that we pride ourselves in at Fiore Aesthetics, because all my equipments, all my iPhone machine, macroneedle radio frequencies, and laser treatment, fractional lasers, all my machine are from Linton Laser, which is a UK company. So we got them constantly serviced and constantly looked after. That keeps the safety of my patient high.
I love how you guys put your patients first at Fiore. What is your own personal philosophy when it comes to aesthetics and patient care? I can tell that you care deeply for your patients,
I
and
do.
we'd love to
I
hear
do.
it.
I do. Um, I would probably say, like, give me the question again.
Oh, so what is your own personal philosophy when it
Yes.
comes to aesthetics and patient care?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So my philosophy in aesthetics is always been, you know, that if you feel good with yourself, you like. I know it's gonna sound a bit shadow for a lot of people, a little bit, but if you're feeling good with you, you approach your daily to day activities in a completely different way. So for me to be able to give my patient a little bit of confidence back, sometimes with small little tweak or small little things, that already makes me feel super happy. So my philosophy is just, love yourself a little bit more and do take care of yourself, because those small changes make your day happier and better, really.
Oh, I can actually agree with that completely. I know that, if you look good, you're feeling good, and I think
That's
it's fantastic that you and your team are working so hard to help people to feel better about
yeah.
themselves.
Yeah, I think giving people's confidence back is phenomenal. I think, with the job that we do, we yes, we do treatments, and yes, but the joy that we get as practitioners, and my team, I have a small team here, with five of us, and four of us, sorry, and we've been within each other's pockets on a daily basis for the last 14 years, because I've got the same staff from the day I opened. So, we all have the same kind of philosophy. And the nice things is when we get when we got emails or messages from people thanking us for just giving them back confidence or giving them back that happiness, that makes job's worth it at the end of the day. It's beautiful. It's a fantastic, things to do.
Yeah, I think it really makes life worth it if you can be improving the lives of others.
Absolutely.
Um, so, when you look towards the future, what can clients and, prospective customers expect from Fiori Aesthetics in the coming years? Do you have like any plans for like expansion or any new offerings coming up?
Um, ex- I would probably say I like the fact that we are a boutique clinic. So we is us working here, so we can look after all our fantastic patients nicely and well. So expansions, I don't think so. We happy with with the clinic and who we are. What they can expect is for us to carry on do what we do, and to obviously trying to bring new technology in and trying to bring new treatments in and keep them feeling and looking good.
Yeah, I mean, that's fantastic. You guys are changing lives over there. We have a few more questions for you.
Please, absolutely.
Do you have a favorite treatment that you swear by?
I have a favorite treatment that I absolutely love, and I perform them all the time. I love work with platelets, so I love working with PRP and PRF, IPRF. So that for me is a wonderful treatment that I swear by. So IPRF, injectable plasma rich fibrin. Fantastic. Skin rejuvenation, elasticity, fine line and wrinkles. We can inject it, we can macaron leadening, we can put it around the eyes for the darkness. It's phenomenal. I love it.
And when it comes to skincare, we love to talk about
Yes.
beauty tips and tricks that
Yeah.
maybe
Oh my
people
God,
can
yes.
do at home. So, you know, could you impart just some skincare wisdom
Yeah,
to our
yeah,
listeners?
definitely, definitely. So I always tell all my patients, understand your skin first. Sometimes, as humans, what we do, especially we live in a social media, world where we open social media, we see a product, we see a cream, we see a serum, and we automatically think that that is good for John or Mark or Suzanne, and so it's going to be good for me. Sometimes it's not the case. So we have to understand our skin first. So what we know where we are with that. I think the best thing to do is to keep your skincare simple. Simpler the skincare and more longevity you're gonna get. Because when I tell my patient you have to do 15 steps in the evening and 15 in the morning, they're not gonna do them. They're gonna say, yeah, 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 yeah. And then they're busy, the kids and the dogs, and they're not gonna finish them. So best thing for skincare is keep your skincare simple. So the three simple step, you have a good wash, you have a good serum for the evening. I'm a massive lover of retinol and retinoids in winter. And then just keep a hyaluronic acid base for the morning and a very good SPF. That is key of any skincare for everyone. So keep it simple. Understand your skin. If you're oily, if you're dry, if you're rosacea, if you got acne, and just keep your skincare routine simple because you're gonna get longevity out of it.
That's actually a great routine. I might have to write that down for myself. I do most of those, but I do feel staying out of the sun is probably a good way to
I think
to
sunblock,
avoid needing so
this
much SPF as well.
Oh, these days we know very well the damage. I mean, we all love sunbathing, we all love the sun, but we know how damaging the sun is for our skin. So I would probably say, if someone will ask me a question, what is the product that will always advise your patient to have? I would say, if you have to have one product in your handbag or in your bag or in your luggage, a sunblock. That is the number one thing that you need to do. Just make sure that your skin is protected, and don't just your face, but it should be face, neck, and for female, it should be a little bit on the decolletage as well.
So I guess For me personally, I use a foundation with an
Yeah,
SPF in it. Do you feel like that's sufficient, or should I be adding on an SPF base under
I would
that?
definitely say depending. Normally, within foundations and products, your SPF will probably be what, a 20. I'd probably guess 20, 25. I would probably say before you put in your makeup, if you find a beautiful SPF that it's pre-made for makeup, meaning that you can use it underneath the makeup, I would definitely say put that on first and then put your makeup on, because makeup normally, yes, you can find some foundations these days that they have a 50 plus, but I always tend to stay really high, 30 or 50. Below that, the protection is very is not as long as you wish it would be. So I say use it a sunblock before your makeup, if you could, if you can.
Yeah, I'll definitely be adding that. That's always something I've been curious about because I know that, when they're selling these foundations, it has SPF, but you really have to be careful, especially if you're out in the sun all
Oh,
day.
absolutely.
But I know that we already touched on how much you care about your clients and making an impact in their life. But I just want to ask you again, what is the most rewarding aspect of running Fiori Aesthetics for you? And I think I
Oh,
already know the answer. It's you guys love your clients.
we are very much client based clinic. We I know it's going to sound to be, but we really and truly we have had patients from the day we opened. And the reason is because the relationship that I have with my patients is very different. Like, I really connect with them. And I always tell all my patients that this is a journey. Skincare, aesthetics, cosmetics is a journey. It's not a quick fix. You're not going to have a treatment and feeling new. It's a journey. So you have to find someone that you trust, someone that you feel good with, someone that you feel comfortable with to go through this journey of aesthetics. So for me, is my patients. Yeah, that's probably would be
That's beautiful. I mean, a journey is always easier when you have someone helping you along the way. I think
absolutely.
it's fantastic that you and your clinic are providing, that assistance for people that are trying to feel better about themselves and look better. And I think that's a beautiful thing.
And
So, oh yeah, go ahead.
oh, no, 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 no. I was saying, especially living within a society where there's so much information out there. And if you are not, sometimes I get confused myself, and I've been doing this for 14 years. It's deep. It must be really difficult for a lot of uh, people and patients in general because you've been bombarded by all different skin cares and so it can be quite confusing to find someone that you trust and someone that you feel comfortable with guiding you through this journey. I think is essential.
Oh yes, I agree. And you guys are doing great work over there. So where can our listeners learn more about Fiori Aesthetics?
We obviously a lot of social media. I love social media, so I'm constantly doing videos and things on Instagram. So if you are keen to learn a little bit more about us and about me as a practitioner, you can go to Instagram, which is clinic underscore Fiore underscore aesthetics. And then obviously through the website, I guess. But social media is probably the best way for listeners to learn a little bit more about us.
That's perfect. I know that social media plays such a huge role in beauty, especially. So I encourage our listeners out there to give Fiore a
Uh,
follow.
Thank you.
Uh, but yeah, I mean, this has been such a great interview and really heartwarming. And, thank you so much for coming on the podcast today. And,
Thank
you know,
you for
we,
having me.
yeah, no, it's been eye-opening, for me and for our listeners. And, it's really fantastic
Thank you.
to really hear about how much you and your clinic care about the client. I think that that is I think that's a beautiful thing.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure talking to you, and hopefully we can do this another time again. I had such a good
Oh
time.
yeah.
Thank you so
We would love to have you on again, and
much.
you know, we look forward to seeing your clinic continue to thrive and grow.
Thank you.
And yeah, and for our listeners out there, if you have enjoyed learning about the health and beauty industry and these tips and tricks, I know I've enjoyed learning about them today. Be sure to subscribe to the Aesthetics Today podcast and like us on social media. You can also stay up to date on new and emerging trends in health and beauty and learn beauty tips and tricks from renowned health and beauty professionals like Flavio by visiting our website at aesthetics.today. I'm your host, Kelsey, and thank you so much for listening. Stay beautiful.